Yusuf, what's your take on the alt-right movement? Would you say it's mutating into cultist-like behavior? On that note, what's your take on Stefan Molyneux? All right. Well, the alt-right movement, so to speak, is a label that's been given to a lot of different fringe groups that exist on the right end of the political spectrum. And so what's my take on it? Well, I think that, whenever you have a group of people, society, whatever, you're going to have people who have different mindsets about the ideologies or beliefs or social values, political values, what should be done, how should society be run, and you're going to have people who want really no part of it. They don't want to really take part in this, or they have their very extreme ideas about how things should be, and they don't generally get a whole lot of mass agreement. These are the people who end up out on the fringes. There's always going to be fringe movements and fringe groups. In the case of the alt-right, you have, for example, neo-Nazis or white supremacists, and there are many, many, many of these groups. I mean, we've done podcasts about how, there are even KKK. If you listen to Daryl Davis, you'll find out that the KKK is not even one big monolithic unified, group of people. There are KKK who have one set of ideas and KKK who have another set of ideas. All of them obviously racist and awful, but it's not one thing. And same with the neo-Nazis, and same with some of the other extreme groups out there on the far end of the political right. You also get evangelicals mixing up into this stuff. You get anti-Semitism into this stuff. You get flat earthers into this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of pretty wild, wild groups. Is there cult-like behavior? Yeah, absolutely there is, because cult-like behavior is another term we use to describe extremist behavior. Very us versus them, very black and white thinking. That is what extremism is it's an inability to critically think about that topic on which you are an extremist, and an insistence that that topic is the single most important thing in the world, that everybody needs to get on board with it, and if everybody did, the world would, of course, be a better and wonderful and happier place, which, of course, is just not true, because the variety is truly the spice of life, and we're never all going to be on the same page about anything. But the extreme view of something is that idea that we need to all embrace extremism, this black and white thinking. So, that's always going to exist. There's always a lunatic fringe in any group, even if it's just one guy to start with. It's always there in one form or another. And yes, and I'd say, I wouldn't say it's mutating into cult-like behavior. I'd say that is, the expression of cult-like behavior on that spectrum. As far as my take on Stefan Molyneux, I think he's a sophist. I think the guy is smart. I think he has clever things to say that are not necessarily true things. And I think that he's got some pretty serious issues between him and his wife and whatnot. And I just don't really, I can't really get on board with a lot of the things the guy says or how he says them. And I know that he is trying desperately to stay relevant, and he's losing his audience, and things are not going well for him right now. And that's okay with me, because I never really got exactly what that guy was trying to do. But making the world a better place it's difficult for me to see that that's what he's really, really trying to do or be about when he forwards some of the ideas that he does. He's forwarded some pretty anti-Semitic stuff, some very, very misogynistic stuff. And, I don't really respect the guy because of that. And his sophistry makes it appear that he is more informed and saying better things than what he's really saying. You got to really dig into his arguments a bit and tear them apart. And he doesn't make that easy to do. And like his ability to say something and then not fully commit. He does this on Twitter all the time. He'll say something, but it's not really a full commitment. So you call him on what he just said, and he goes, "Oh, no, I didn't say that," even though it's pretty obvious that's exactly what he said. This kind of nonsense and doublespeak doesn't do well for him in forwarding his case. It'd be a lot easier and simpler if he would just say what he meant and stand by it without having to engage in a lot of what appear to be bad faith arguments. Whether they are bad faith arguments or not, I can't say for sure. I can't mind read the guy, but that's where I see Stefan Molyneux.